Just a quick take on the news. YouTube has pulled my 580,000 view video on the connections between NATO and coronavirus. There's a lot of them, and unfortunately nobody in the press is doing this story about the NATO connects to coronavirus. Follow up on who we believe patient zero was in October of 2019 in Wuhan. Is going to be this person by the name of Matya Banasi. So here's we're going to just go over briefly the facts. Again, you can watch my video yesterday if you don't remember. But the facts here are Matya Banasi is an armed diplomatic security officer. We're going to have a presentation right over here, and we'll show you her information. Go ahead. She's also a biker for the U.S. Armed Forces, but you can see right off her LinkedIn, she is armed diplomatic security officer from Woodbridge, Virginia, not far from here up the diplomatic back channel, right? So that's confirming what she does. Okay, now she's not just any armed diplomatic security officer. She actually works for, remember Pete Buttigieg in EUCOM, the European Command. She actually works for a 4-star general. We don't know if that's James Jones, Bergey's James Jones or not, but it may very well be. See my episodes that I did on Bergey if you want to look at that. But we believe actually she drove for the NATO Supreme Allied Commander, which is James Jones. He's the same guy with ShadowNet if you've watched my Bergey episodes. So we're going to start with the topic of Matya Banasi, and I'll start with Wuhan. She was in Wuhan. She was in this bicycle race on October the 20th when she contracted the virus in Wuhan. That's a picture of her, I believe, in 2013. You can see the NATO on there. You can see the spaghetti there and the different badges. I don't know if that's marksman's. I would guess that she would have to be a marksman. And again, you can see that she was in Stuttgart at EUCOM and driver for the Supreme Allied Command there, which is the SHAPE headquarters, which we've talked a lot about, the NATO generals and so forth. Now I'll add in another little piece here, which is Benny Banasi. This story has a lot of Banasi, and this story has a lot of Dutch. She's Dutch. She grows up in a Dutch neighborhood in high school, but he's also Dutch, and he's the first coronavirus victim in Holland. So that's quite a coincidence, if you ask me. Mark Kulak reported on this connection of using diplomatic couriers. Again, we're going to talk about diplomatic immunity, no searches, right, for moving these different biological samples to 29 different places that's doing weapons development. And the weapons development was known as a CBEP. That was a cooperative biological enhancement program, which is a weapons development program, right? So that's the key thing to note here is these CBEPs. This one comes from Tbilisi. This one comes from Tbilisi, Georgia. We can trace the travel of Matya to Tbilisi, Georgia. Now that's important because that means there was couriering going on. Now I'm not saying she knows about it. She may be the cover. That's really important because one of the scholars from one of the foundations that an employee came up to me where these weapons are developed from the University of Delaware and said, hey, it's the Duisberg Foundation. I'll just tell you the answer to the test right now. We don't know. That's just somebody who came up from the foundation and said, hey, it's the Duisberg Foundation. I'm going to tell you the answer. We do have documentary evidence that 3 scientists from North Carolina, from Wuhan, came to the University of North Carolina and worked on the bat, horseshoe bat adaptation, the zoonotic transfer. Usually you need an intermediate animal to then transfer to humans. It doesn't usually go, not many humans eat bats. It doesn't usually go, it goes to an intermediate animal, sometimes it's a pig or something like that, then to the human. So we don't have those answers, but again, it's interesting that this coronavirus is derivative of that zoonotic transfer from horseshoe bats. Again, a lot of things pointing to Fort Detrick, where weapons development has occurred for a long time, and a lot of things pointing to